My name is Thomas Mcilroy, Thomasmcilroy.
And your title?
International Content Manager.
And where you're from?
I'm from London.
Perfect.
And you've been here how long?
I've been here since August last year.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
So almost going to be a year.
Nearly a year. So I look after all the English language content for the club, as well as content for our academies around the world. So we have academies in America, Korea, Japan, and we'll have some in Australia as well soon. So we have lots around the world. And as well as that, I also look after the English language content for the club here at Villarreal. So the first team content for the reserves, the academy, videos, articles, all in English. So that's what I look after.
You can turn it up a little bit higher. So how does a guy from London end up in Villarreal?
So it's a bit of a strange story really. So I studied Spanish at university and I was sent on a year abroad to study, to work in Villarreal, in a school in Villarreal, which is just next door to the training ground. And I love football and I used to go to the reserve team matches and I used to tweet from the matches, and then one day the first team account followed me and was like, what's an English person doing at the reserve team matches in Villarreal, because it's such a small town. And I met Juan Anton, who's now director of the international department, and I stayed in touch. I went back to England. I worked as a journalist for a few years after finishing my degree, and then last summer a job came up that I came here and came back to work here. I always wanted to go back to Spain, and I was lucky enough that a job came up to be able to come back here.
You have a question, Rita?
Yeah, James and I have a question in particular for the women coverage. How do you guys handle that? Is there a difference?
So in terms of the women's team, we give them as much coverage as we can. We don't do live tweeting from the games, which we do for the first team. We do that for the men's first team. We don't do that for the B team, the reserve team. But the women's team, we make sure that every weekend that we talk about their results. We're actually just before I came, I need to just finish translating it. We've got the women's have signed 2 more players, so that goes onto our website. It's treated exactly the same as a men's article. That it goes in the same place. It goes on the main page. For us, the 2 teams are just important, and the women are growing in importance all the time as well. They got promotion last year, which is a big deal. We try and speak to them as much as possible. Last year we had a women's player on the first team, Kenny Kessler, who was from America, so she spoke English. So we have an English language podcast, so we speak to her. We spoke to her a bit about her experience here, and we also, for our academies, we get a lot of the women to, because obviously the academies are male and female, we get a lot of the ladies first team to film messages as well for our academies, because it's good for them to see that we're not only Villarreal men's, we're also Villarreal ladies as well.
And do you see, is there, in terms of the ratings, there's just not the demand for it to have those tweets for the women?
I mean, it's not, at the moment, obviously the men's first team play in La Liga and the women's first team are going to be in Primera B next season. Last year they were in Segunda. We want to give as much coverage as we can to it. There's not as much interest, especially on the English side of things, for the ladies first team, because in general, women's football doesn't have as much coverage, although it doesn't have as much reaction. For us, we find a lot more reaction to the men's first team, but especially in English, especially the men's first team, is more players that have played in England, such as Santi Cazorla, or players who come from an English-speaking country, such as Samu Chukwueze, because we have a lot of Nigerian interaction as well because of Samu.
So you do a lot of this in English. Who's your audience?
So our audience is all over the world that speaks English, because we have a lot of people this season. We've gained a lot of Arsenal fans, or a lot of fans from that area because of Santi Cazorla. We also gained a lot of Nigerian fans because of Samu Chukwueze, but we have a lot of American fans because Villarreal has a really strong American history. Josie Altidore, Giuseppe Rossi. We've currently got a player on our B team, the reserve team, the under-23 team, Mcilroy, who's doing really well. And so even in the youth team, we've got a player called Jack Imperator, who's currently with our under-18s, and they're all doing really well. So we find that the American audience is quite big as well. But UK, America, we kind of all of the English-speaking countries, and for a lot of people as well that don't speak Spanish, a lot of people speak English if they don't speak Spanish. So that's what we do as well.
And how much of a demand do you guys see for pre-season and season holders? How do you guys market?
In terms of press, in pre-season games it would be the same coverage that we give to normal games, so we live tweet them and things like that. And season ticket holders, the season ticket campaign, we do it in English. We obviously don't get anywhere near as many English language fans, but we want, as we do Spanish language fans that get season tickets, but we want the website to be the same in English as it is in Spanish.
some of our students here are from Lincoln, Nebraska. You have an academy team there. Have you done any work with them?
Yeah, we do loads of work with the team in Vera, our academy in Nebraska, Vera, Nebraska. We the two directors came over recently. We did a chat with them, but we regularly film videos for them. We create content for them that they can use. There's currently a camp going on in Nebraska, and we use on our Instagram. We have an account for the International Academies, VRL.Academy, and we post pictures from VRL Nebraska. We post pictures from the camps. We get shout outs from first team players to them, so we try and make sure that they feel as involved, although they're in Nebraska, that they feel close to here as well.
Why Nebraska?
Well, that's not a decision. That wasn't my choice. You have to ask someone in marketing, ask Brandon.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions there?
No, okay, stop.
Awesome. So, did you guys ask him his name?
Yeah,
Well, you had done that already.
I think we've done that.
Did we? But do we have
Can
it
you say-
spelled?
Say and spell your name.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.